All right, we're keeping it a little mild this year when it comes to add-ons and things we're doing to the Talon. That's all right. Honestly, pretty happy with it overall. Was super happy with it overall. Let me take that back. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't a couple things that I learned along the way and kind of wanted to make a little bit better. When we started out with our Honda Talon, I pretty much put a tablet in it right away. At the time, I was thinking I didn't want something too big. I didn't want something that took up the whole dash. I just wanted, something that was simple and did what I wanted it to do. So we started out with an iPad mini, lost that pretty quick, so then we got a Samsung Tab A, which were both 8-inch tablets. I was happy with the iPad, but it was limited as far as the apps and what you could really do with it. And one of the navigation apps that I was really trying to get was Lifetime Trail Maps, which is only available on the Androids. So, and that plus cost. So we went that way, ended up with an 8-inch, and that was fine. Just wasn't big enough. And I say that starting off not wanting too big. But when we were down in Tennessee and we were in West Virginia, really navigating off of that, and that's your home base, that's your main source of information. I found myself like zooming in more than I cared to, and to me, it seemed too small. So that's fine. This winter, we're going to upgrade it. So like I said, we had the 8-inch, which is right here. You can kind of see that right there. And we just upgraded to the Samsung Tab A 10.4-inch. Big size difference from the two, obviously. I will say, kind of sized up. I kind of expected it to be a little bigger, if that makes any sense. But it's plenty big. I think it's going to fit perfect. Super happy with that. So once we decided to do that, we got to swap out our mount. So we actually had an Improvised Ram Mount. This was the Tab Tight HD. This is the one that was originally in the Honda, and honestly, I had no complaints with it. It was super simple, super easy. It's just a spring-loaded thing. You slap the tablet in there, kind of bites, and it's great. But when it came time to upgrade and I had to get something new, I was thinking about the things that I didn't like about it. And really, the only thing that I didn't like about it was, again, out in Tennessee and West Virginia, there were times where we would go and get something to eat, and I felt like I had to take the tablet inside because you just got your tablet sitting on your dashboard. So when I started looking at the newer Ram mounts, I found this guy. So this is actually, let's see if I can get you guys the part number here. There's the part number there. You can freeze frame that and kind of look at that if that's what you want to do. But to summarize it, what it is a pretty much the same thing, except a locking version, kind of more of a security version. So there's a lock cylinder on the side, which you can see, and then the little lever to lock it. I really just think when we're out, it's just peace of mind. Once the tablet's in there, you lock that. There's a key. Take the keys in with you. No one's getting it out. I will say this thing's built stout. Obviously, if someone wants something bad enough, they're going to get it. But it seems like it's built pretty stout. It was kind of a pain to put together because it is the security version, but whatever. So yeah, you got the lock cylinder on the side. Pull down on the lever to engage it. And then let's see if we can show what that would look like. So that'll be mounted on the dash like that. It was locked. That's why. So you put your tablet in, slide down like that. Once it's locked, you're not getting it out. And obviously, you turn that cylinder. That's what'll lock that. Otherwise, you could just pop it and release it like that. We went with a suitcase tablet mount or tablet case for this guy. Let's see if we can get this to lock back into place. So yeah, like I was saying, we went with the suitcase on that guy. Not really happy with the gap in the bottom. I'll have to make some sort of spacers or something, but I did set it and kind of adjust it to where it pinches it pretty good. So that'll sit in the dash of the Honda just like that. So let's get that in, see what that looks like, and then we'll come back. Shouldn't be too bad. Already have everything ripped out of the original taken out. So we got our bare bones basic license plate holder off a 76 Camaro that we have modified to fit into place, just kind of spring loaded. So that whole Ram mount will sit just like this and then just kind of rest up against it like that. I like it this way. Honestly, it kind of gives you that pocket, and it ends up being like a door because you can always flip it up and then get to whatever's in there. So we're going to get that in, see what it looks like. We'll get back. And that's it. Got the tablet mounted up in the Talon. Doesn't look too bad. Only thing I can tell you 100% right off the bat is it's off a little bit just because of the larger screen. I use those existing holes, but I may fix it, I may not. I don't know. We'll see. but it definitely fills up a lot more of the dash, a lot more usable space. Just pulling up Polaris ride command right there. It does seem like even stepping out and kind of looking in, it's definitely a big upgrade from the last one. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. A couple little minor tweaks that we'll still do and just try to see how to get the most of it. But honestly, just looking at the way that it fits in the dash and it fills up the dash, I'm super happy with the way it came out. And, you know, from this, I'll have control of my reverse cameras, which go off a Wi-Fi signal. Which, honestly, I wouldn't recommend you guys, if you're going to spend the time, just get the wired ones. The reverse, I don't know. Or the Wi-Fi, it just doesn't really seem to kind of work the way that I intended it to, but that's all right. Best part about the new Ram Mount locking holder, I forgot what the part number is, but you can look that up in the video. So like I said, when we were about before, the other one was spring loaded, you could just pop it out, take the tablet. On this guy, it's locked on the side. There's a little cylinder here. Well, that's how I can unlock it, pop the tablet out. Alright, just pop it out this way. Now when I go to leave, or say I want it locked and secured, put it in, lock it there. I got key, lock cylinder back here, which I'll be the first to admit isn't necessarily the best spot we could have put it in, but it is what it is. Flip that over, and once that's locked, even if you go to flip this down, it's not going to disengage. So now it's locked in there. Now, yeah, I know what you're thinking. If they want it bad enough, they're just going to take it and rip it off, which, whatever. But I'm going to make them work for it a little bit harder. And honestly, I feel like I'm super happy with that. I think that that's exactly what I want. I can run in the gas station. I can, you know, leave it out there and not have to worry about it less of someone taking it. So that's it. Just want to make sure we took some time and actually showed you the benefits of the locking one versus the non-locking. Because like I said, the non-locking, just spring-loaded. Pop it out. Got yourself a tablet. And that's it. Locking, they're gonna have to rip out your whole dash, and then I can put my key back in and unlock it, pop the lock, bam, good to go. There it is. I want to take a quick minute and actually talk about why you would even want a tablet in your side-by-side. I realize that maybe someone's watching this video and they're thinking like, dude, are you retarded? Why would you want to do that? Why are you going to put a tablet in an off-road vehicle that you're just going to get splashed with mud nonstop? And I will be the first to admit that that was one of the first things I thought when I considered putting a tablet inside. As the power sports industry kind of evolved over the years, Polaris started to introduce their ride command, which I thought was super, super cool. But I don't like Polaris machines. I think they suck. So I ended up with a Honda Talon, and obviously Honda Talon does not offer that. So when the Talon comes basically off of the showroom floor, what you see right here, this is your instrument cluster. This is actually originally from the factory located right there. I didn't like that. It was awkward. Moved it above the steering wheel, which honestly isn't necessarily the greatest either, because a lot of times where you have the steering wheel positioned, it gets in the way of your speedometer, so you kind of end up moving your head around trying to see how fast you're going. I have GPS apps for that, so I'm not too concerned, because there's a lot of times when I'm out riding, instead of even paying attention to that, other than with switching gears, I have these GPS apps that I kind of pull up. And again, the whole point was, what would you want the tablet for? Right? So why do you even put it in there when you're talking about, like, you know, what can you do with it? So to me, the GPS app I do use, but most of the times when we're out on like really good trips, I'm in Lifetime Trail Maps, which is GPS, right? Navigation, hands down, is the single most reason that you're going to use this. There's so many places. If you get out in the Hatfield McCoy trails, ride Royal Blue, if you're not from that area, good luck getting around. You need some sort of navigation. So I actually haven't completed my transfer for Lifetime Trail Maps. That's a separate little gripe. They make it really difficult to swap over the licensing, but I'm in the process of it. But just to kind of show you guys, this is Polaris Ride Command. This is what comes factory with the Polaris, with the Ride Command editions, which is basically just a GPS mapping program. Which the nice thing about it is it can be used offline. You have no cell signal connectivity whatsoever, and again, it's using your GPS, module that's built inside of the unit. So that's that. But what else can we do with it? Right? So I basically have a couple different things set up on this, right? I have a battery isolator and a dual battery setup. What that allows me to do is play the music next to the campfire with all my machine electronics off. I can drain down that battery. I can go and start the battery. It's no big deal. You know, the machine's going to start. I don't have to worry about a dead battery, I guess is what I should be saying, which to me is something that I do a lot. We're always sitting out by the campfire. It's nice to kind of have this. I pop the doors open, let the music play. I don't have to worry about it starting or not. But we also have rock lights on this. Now the rock lights I don't have wired up to be on all the time just because I don't want them on unless the key's on. So if you pay attention to this, if I turn the key on, I got my rock lights on a rocker switch over here, which, interesting enough, because I was playing with it earlier, but they blink, right? So that they typically will turn on right away and go to your last setting, but on this one, they're not wanting to. So let's open up the Rock Lights app and see, man, when you're in unfamiliar places and, you're trying to figure your way around, having, an in-machine GPS is, again, worth its weight in gold. Can't go wrong. So that shows us where we're at, whatever. And like I said, the GPS in these do not need any kind of cell signals to operate. They operate strictly off of what's going on internal and the satellites up in the sky. So don't worry about it. You don't need cell signal. And just to revisit, some music. Who doesn't like music, right? It's funny because I love music and I have this all set up and I end up just keeping the music off because I love enjoying the scenery too. So music, rock lights, reverse cameras, navigation. Most important thing. To me, that's worth it. The tablet itself obviously isn't weatherproof. I have it in the weatherproof case. Most of the times I have a full windshield in the winter, which protects it. In the summertime, most of the times I run a half windshield, so even when I'm hitting the mud holes and stuff, it keeps it off. And honestly, whatever. I feel like for the most part, it's held up pretty good, and it's fine. So if you're curious about putting a tablet in your side-by-side, mine's a Honda Talon. If you got a Polaris Razor, that's okay too, even though they suck. If you want to put one in, I'm telling you, I think you should do it.